Hi, you're watching Teen Kids News. I'm Reed. Let's begin with our top story.
Our top story this week is the big competition for the Drive Safe Chicago PSA contest. This report, as well as the contest, is sponsored by the National Road Safety Foundation. The annual contest is open to teens in 4 Midwestern states: Illinois, Iowa, Indiana, and Wisconsin. Students aged 13 to 19 are invited to send in their ideas for a 30-second PSA. That's short for public service announcement. 3 finalists are chosen from all the entries. In addition to winning up to $2,000, each finalist gets an exciting opportunity. An Emmy Award-winning TV crew will come to their school to help them produce their PSAs. The theme of this year's contest is passenger empowerment.
I'm Texas Mackey. I'm a junior at Pewaukee High School. We're here in Pewaukee, Wisconsin, 30 minutes west of Milwaukee, and the real feel is negative 25 degrees Fahrenheit.
The freezing temperature was going to prove to be a challenge because Texas's PSA calls for a lot of shooting outside.
My concept is my passenger is saying that I'm speeding and I'm the driver, and we passed by a crash, and that's what changes my mind and makes me realize that I should slow down as the driver.
Texas asked his friend Landon to be the passenger. They rehearsed their lines with the producer and director.
And action.
Come on, we're gonna be late.
Sorry, man. I thought it was just gonna be, we had to film something on our phones and maybe submit like a 1-minute video, almost like a school project. I did not expect a film crew from New York to come here, so it was a huge surprise.
Another huge surprise was the arrival of news crews from local TV stations.
Yeah, so I found this PSA contest through the NRSF. They asked me things like, why did I enter? How did I find out about this? Like a bit about myself.
While Texas and Landon were being interviewed, the PSA crew began setting up the cameras and mics. Often in video production, scenes are not shot in chronological order. So today, the first scene to be shot was actually one of the last scenes in the PSA, the crashed car. It was a big setup, requiring a number of emergency vehicles and first responders.
We had a lot of cooperation between the Village of Pewaukee Police Department, the Pewaukee Fire Department that sent an engine as well as a med unit. So we had a lot of cooperation, a lot of personnel, first responders on scene.
To a time where the gurney goes up and
The director ran everyone through the scene.
you, my friend, we're over here.
In addition to the roles as passenger and driver, Landon and Texas filled in as extras in this scene.
Then your turn, you're like that one, right?
Yeah.
If you want, you could pull this over your head.
Sit down.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know, lane here is pretty nice. It's pretty simple.
To make sure everyone understood their part, the crew walked through a quick rehearsal. For the actual shot, the cameraman would be inside a car. And it all had to happen in just 4 seconds.
1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000.
The tricky part was coordinating the moving car with the action by the first responders.
You have to go slower. Recording.
Despite the freezing cold, the volunteers willingly did take after take after take until the crew got the shot.
Everyone can see?
I think drivers sometimes don't realize how they're driving or that their driving might make a passenger feel unsafe.
You know you're speeding.
Yeah, I know.
It's important to speak up and make sure that if you don't feel safe, that you let that driver know that you're not feeling safe.
What do you think? Is that the way you wanted it?
Yeah.
When the shooting was completed in Wisconsin, the crew traveled to the next 2 finalists, who were both in Indiana. Not only were they in the same state, they were in the same school, the Anthis Career Academy in Fort Wayne.
My name is Riley Wilds. I'm a senior.
My name is Carlyale, and I'm a senior.
We've had, 2 students that were finalists for this competition, and yes, their skills and their abilities really shine, and we were so excited when they were selected.
I was one of the finalists, and it was one of the best pieces of information that I found out probably my whole life. So really excited about this opportunity.
When I was a kid, my dad would always, make me respond to his text messages while he was driving so he wouldn't become distracted.
Sounds like his dad was certainly a good role model. When Teen Kids News continues, we'll go behind the scenes with Riley and Carlyale as they produce their PSAs. Be right back. We're at the Anthis Career Academy in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
You always have to have your seatbelt. You've got to have the seatbelt on, otherwise you have to come back and shoot this thing all over again.
Meeting with Carlyale and fellow senior Riley, 2 of 3 finalists in the Drive Safe Chicago PSA contest. The theme of this year's contest is passenger empowerment.
The concept of my PSA is that there is a newlywed couple that are driving back from their wedding ceremony and reception, and the driver is getting distracted by both the phone and the radio. So the passenger stops the driver from making that mistake and tells the driver that it is their job as a passenger to not let the driver get distracted while driving.
The main actors and all the extras in Riley's PSA walked to a nearby church for the first scene, the wedding.
Okay, so your vision is?
The planning for just like Leo, and then Kim holding a bouquet, and then just.
While the director and Riley discussed staging the scene, the producer worked with the bride and groom.
Step together, step together.
To get the smooth, backwards move that Riley envisioned, the cameraman had suggested using a wheelchair.
Scene 1, take 5.
We went from, shooting the first couple scenes at the church.
1,000, 2,000.
A high 5 is cute.
Pretty good.
All right, we're done.
That really was pretty good. Yeah. Shall we do it again? As a backup?
To shooting a party scene here. Basically, this is the after party for the wedding, so we're gonna have the bride and the groom kind of like dancing down the aisle.
I know it feels silly, but it doesn't look silly.
Yeah, that looks great.
Action. I learned a lot. I mean, I'm, most used to the stereotypical camera, point, shoot, sometimes lighting if it's that big of a deal, but I never really deal with much with lighting. And here I saw how much lighting does matter, especially with the party scene.
Yay! Fellow classmate Carlyale is also a finalist.
Well, because I wanted to really engage the audience with an emotional impact piece, I wanted to have the driver and passenger sit back to back in a dark room and have an argument, essentially about who's at fault for the crash.
Fortunately, the Career Center had a small TV studio that would work, but to make the room completely dark, all the walls needed to be covered with black fabric. To capture the dramatic effect Carlyale wanted, special lighting was needed. While the crew set up one of the cameras, Carlyale rehearsed her actors.
Yeah, you were going fast, way too fast.
I would say when you say you were in the car with me, why didn't you say anything? With just a little more emotion.
As co-director, I got to really work with my talents on rehearsing lines, making sure that the shots were okay.
I like the blue chairs. The dark
You like the blue chairs better?
Yeah.
Okay.
And making sure that wardrobe was okay as well.
His red pops out beautifully. The blue of the chair was a good call because the white would have gone into the floor. Mm-hmm. So, and that's excellent.
So making sure that everything went by smoothly, and with the help of the lovely producers that were with me today, everything went great.
Except that, as often happens with TV productions, things don't always go smoothly. We call that
Murphy's Law.
Yes. Murphy's Law is a saying that anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
We got to learn about Murphy's Law due to a funny interruption that we had.
Attention, attention. An emergency has been reported in this building. Please cease operations. Utilizing the nearest exit or fire exit stairway.
We had to stop. There was a bit of a fire drill.
Like I said, Murphy's Law.
It really just means, emergency happens on set. Things happen, catastrophes happen on set. So when that happens, we have to stop and take care of what needs to be taken care of.
Once the all clear was given, everyone returned to the building, and the team continued to work on Carlyale's PSA.
Yeah, if you could put this in your front pocket on that side. Is it okay if I clip this onto you? Yes, sir. All right, great.
Again, the wheelchair came in handy. It allowed the cameraman to circle smoothly around the actors while holding a second, smaller camera. The crew ran through the shot a number of times.
Go.
You're not seriously blaming me. This wasn't my fault.
Too late. It was too late.
Carlyale watched video playback of the scene to make sure it came out the way she wanted it to.
Yeah.
That was great.
That's a wrap.
Hey, way to go. Nicely done.
I have to share the PSA, get the word out, have people vote for it, and encourage people to vote. And not only for mine, but for Riley's and everyone else who was competing as well.
We'll tell you how the voting went when Teen Kids News continues. Don't go away. Welcome back. We're continuing our report on the Drive Safe Chicago PSA contest. Let's take a moment to review the process.
So you submit a script about how a passenger speaks up when a car is being driven unsafely.
And they choose 3 finalists, and I was one of them. And these 3 finalists will work with the producers and directors to create their PSA into a true video.
And they will edit it for you. And then the Chicago Auto Show Facebook page will post the finished videos where people will vote on it, and that's where you have a chance to win some money.
And the one with the most votes is the winner, but we're all really winners at being the finalists.
Good point. After all the votes were tallied, the winners were announced at the Chicago Auto Show. 3rd place and $500 went to Carlyale for her PSA. Whose fault?
I didn't realize how fast I was going.
Yeah, you were going fast. Way too fast.
You were with me. Why didn't you say anything?
You're not seriously blaming me. This wasn't my fault.
We were both in the car.
Yeah, but you were driving.
But you should have said something.
I did. I said, look out.
Too late. It was too late.
If only I had spoken up sooner, maybe he wouldn't have died. Passengers shouldn't keep silent. Speak up before it's too late.
2nd place and $1,000 was awarded to Riley for his PSA, My Job.
Honey, it's my job to text, your job to drive.
Oh, some music.
Music's my job too.
And taking 1st place, as well as a check for $2,000, was Texas for his PSA, Late Realizations.
Come on, we're gonna be late.
Sorry.
You know you're speeding.
Yeah, I know.
Dude, slow down. Do you want to end up like that?
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll slow down.
As a driver myself and being driven all the time, I really care about the reckless drivers here in Wisconsin and around the nation that affect your lives.
All 3 finalists said they had a great time working on their PSAs.
I loved every second of it. I would love to relive it a million times if I could. It was very fun, very fun.
And Mrs. Wise points out that there are big benefits for teachers to encourage their students to enter competitions sponsored by the NRSF.
I would encourage all teachers to do it. It is a wonderful experience, connects to that real-world, hands-on experience and seeing professionals in the field and how they work through these type of productions.
This is something that I will definitely remember for the rest of my life, so I would, of course, recommend this to anyone.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So put on your thinking cap, roll up your sleeves, and check out the many contests sponsored by the NRSF. For Teen Kids News, I'm Alexandra.
It's time for a quick commercial break, but we'll be right back with more Teen Kids News, so don't go away. There's an entire history lesson in a state flag. You just need to know what to look for.
In 1796, Tennessee became our 16th state. America now stretched west to the shores of the Mississippi River. Then, in 1812, the United States went to war with Britain again. Many Tennesseans volunteered to fight for their new country. They were commanded by General and soon-to-be President Andrew Jackson. That patriotic spirit earned Tennessee its nickname, the Volunteer State. But another 80 years would pass before it got its own state flag.
This is one of my favorite flags because it's simple. It uses red, white, and blue, and it's a design actually that was submitted by a soldier named Leroy Reeves, and the 3 stars represent the 3 parts of the state of Tennessee. There's western Tennessee between the Tennessee and Mississippi rivers. There's middle Tennessee, which is known for the Tennessee River and also bluegrass country. And then the Great Smoky Mountains are in the eastern part of Tennessee, and that's what the 3rd star is meant to represent.
The design celebrates unity by enclosing all 3 stars within a circle, and the red, white, and blue colors celebrate Tennessee's unity with America. A distinctive blue edging ensures the flag can be easily recognized, even on days when there's no breeze to unfurl it. With Flag Facts, I'm Harry.
We'll have more Teen Kids News right after this. If you have a passion for fashion, this next report is especially for you.
Recently, people walking along New York's Madison Avenue had more than just the store windows to look at. There were also more than 20 tall plexiglass boxes attracting interest. On display inside the boxes were some rather unusual dresses.
The display we have right now focuses on dresses, which of course we're a major fashion district, and it also focuses on art history. And you know, Madison Avenue is a block away from the Metropolitan Museum of Art. We have over 100 galleries here in our neighborhood, so there's really a lot of connections there.
My name is Michael Portez. I go to School of Visual Arts. I'm studying design.
Michael and his fellow students were given a special assignment. Choose any period in the history of art and create a dress in that art style.
It's Arte Povera.
It began in Italy back in the 1960s. The name means poor art because it uses what members of the movement call humble everyday items.
Just using cheap materials and juxtaposition of the old and new.
In this case, the old is asphalt, the stuff roads are made with. Also called blacktop, this dark, sticky gunk is made from petroleum and crushed rocks. The new in Michael's dress isn't exactly cheap. It's silk, and it's been around for thousands of years. But that's still relatively new compared to petroleum, which was formed millions of years ago.
So the challenge with this dress was basically using blacktop asphalt on silk, so you can't get it dirty at all. And just like putting each individual rock one by one. So it's just like challenging myself all the time, different materials. So took me a long time to do it. I just loved drawing when I was young, making random stuff around the house. That's what I gravitated towards since I was little. And it's just like a blessing to be doing stuff in the city. And I thank the school for really letting me grow into an artist and as a person.
No doubt, all the other student designers exhibiting their work so publicly feel the same way. As for the reaction from passers-by on the street,
I think it's been amazing. The reaction from people on Madison Avenue is just wonderful. And people are really learning. They're learning about these different art movements.
Learning about different art movements is certainly a good idea for all of us. Fashion designer Kenzo Takada put it this way: fashion is like eating. You shouldn't stick to the same menu. And the same can be said about art, of course. For Teen Kids News, I'm Katarina.
That's it for this edition of Teen Kids News. Thanks for watching. See you again next week.